All right, diving right into it today and tackling a topic that I know keeps a lot of you up at night. Literally, it's those bedtime battles.
Bedtime battles.
Fears of the dark. We're talking all things childhood fears when the lights go out. And let's
Yeah.
be real, this is a request we get a lot.
Right.
So you are not alone. But today, we're going beyond just surviving bedtime.
Yeah.
We're going to unpack how to genuinely help your little ones feel safer,
Right.
more confident when it is lights out and everybody's supposed to be snoozing.
Yeah. I think what's so interesting about this fear, especially with children, is that it's not something to be fixed.
Oh, interesting.
It's completely normal. It's a developmental stage,
Yeah.
and it's actually tied to our biology and how we evolved.
So you're saying it's like hardwired into us. Tell me more about that because, yeah, okay, kids are scared of the dark, but like, what's the science behind that?
Yeah, well, if you think about it, you go back to our ancestors for whom darkness really did mean danger.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Vulnerability to
That
predators.
makes sense. Yeah.
Their amygdala, which is the part of the brain that processes fear, would be on high alert when the sun went down. So that's kind of an instinctive association between darkness and danger that's been passed down.
Wow.
And then children, with their wonderful active imaginations, that primal fear is still there.
So it's not necessarily always monsters under the bed, but it's almost like this primal
Right.
instinct.
Exactly.
That's really, really interesting. Okay. So that makes a lot of sense. It's like you said, it's not something to be fixed.
Correct.
Because you can't logic your way out of a primal fear.
Exactly.
So telling a kid, just stop being scared, that's not going to work.
Not going to work. So I think really a much more effective approach is to start with empathy,
Okay.
to acknowledge the fear. Let them know you understand how they could be scared.
It's so true because just even as adults, if you say like, oh my gosh, I'm really nervous about this presentation or whatever, and someone says, oh, that sounds scary. You're like, yeah, this kind of scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just having someone acknowledge it
Exactly.
is so validating.
Validation is so important, and then it builds trust and opens the door for communication.
Totally.
But it doesn't mean that you surrender to the fear, but you can create a safe space to start to address it.
Hmm.
And I think that's where tools like nightlights can be really helpful.
Okay. So let's shed some light, literally, on nightlights because, I mean, it's so simple.
Yeah.
Like a nightlight. But what is the science behind why that can be so effective for kids?
Well, it's all about, if you think about what darkness is, it's disorienting.
Yes.
So a nightlight acts as a visual anchor,
Okay.
a reassuring presence that kind of pushes back against that disorientation. So it gives the child a sense of control in an environment that can feel very unpredictable.
Oh, I love that. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think it's important to note, too, that not all nightlights are created equal.
Oh, really?
So you want to go with warm reddish hues.
Instead of that, like, really bright blue light?
Right.
Oh, great.
Exactly. And the reason for that is that blue light actually suppresses melatonin production, which regulates our sleep-wake cycle.
Ah, interesting.
Whereas that warm reddish light is less stimulating and promotes a more peaceful transition to sleep.
So it's all about setting the stage. And speaking of setting the stage, I mean, the good old bedtime routine always comes up in these conversations, and it seems, again, almost too simple. But there's got to be a reason, like, why is the bedtime routine such a classic tip for this?
Well, I think a consistent bedtime routine is so powerful because it really taps into the science of sleep hygiene. That's what we were just talking about, setting the stage.
Right, yeah.
So, our brains thrive on predictability. And when we follow a consistent routine, we're essentially signaling to our bodies and minds that it's time to wind down.
Okay.
And this reduces anxiety and it fosters a sense of safety and security. And this is for children and adults, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
Bedtime routines are good for everyone.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. Okay, so routines, check.
Right.
What about this idea? A lot of people say to read stories about bravery.
Right.
Is that more just for distraction, or is there actually something a little deeper at play there?
No, I think stories, particularly those that feature characters overcoming challenges, are more powerful than a lot of people realize.
Okay.
They give us a framework for processing these emotions that can sometimes feel too big.
So is it almost, even if it's a fictional character and they're facing down, a dragon or something, just seeing that can make a real fear feel less overwhelming?
Exactly. And it also, I think, stories offer a safe space to explore those fears, which is so important. And crucially, see a path towards conquering them. It's like saying, look, even heroes get scared sometimes, but they find their inner strength and you can too.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really, really nice way to put it. And that's, I love that because it's not about never being scared. It's just about having the tools to
Exactly.
work through it.
It's about building those coping muscles.
Yes. And that actually reminds me of another tip that we got, which was that idea of gradually reducing the light. Like, not just going from, bright lights to pitch black, but like slowly dimming things down. What do you think about that approach?
I love that one.
Yeah.
I think that aligns beautifully with a lot of the principles of exposure therapy, but it's obviously much gentler.
Right.
And so by gradually dimming the lights, you're helping your child acclimate to the darkness at their own pace and building their confidence incrementally.
So it's about, again, empowering them. Like, you are in control.
Yes.
You can handle this.
It's about progress, not perfection.
Yes, I love that. Progress, not perfection. Words to live by. And honestly, I love how this whole conversation, it's bigger than just like banishing the bedroom boogeyman.
Right.
It's really about giving these kids the tools that they need to face any fear that comes their way, which is, life is full of them.
Exactly. And it's one of the greatest gifts I think we can give as parents and caregivers, that ability to navigate their world with courage and resilience, lights on or off.
Yes, I love that. Couldn't agree more. And on that note, for any of you listening out there who maybe still feel a little twinge of that childhood fear of the dark, well, maybe some of these tips can help you too. Until next time, sweet dreams, everyone.